Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Tom Wilson Racing Channel. I'm here with a look ahead to tomorrow's racing. After unfortunately today's selection again were non-runners, with the being at Southwell being abandoned. My first selection tomorrow that I've got comes from Haydock, where there isn't any inspection that I can see scheduled for the morning. So it looks as though they're pretty confident that we're going to get racing tomorrow at Haydock, which is a massive bonus. The ground at Haydock tomorrow is going to be on the testing side for sure. It's currently heavy ground there. And let me share my screen with you as I always do. And my selection from Haydock comes in the very first race, which is a Class 3 handicap hurdle over 2 miles and 3 furlongs. Um, the heavy ground here really does divide this field up pretty nicely for us when we're having a look at it. With Haydock heavy, you're wanting a horse that you know is going to handle conditions there, really, because they do get very, very testing. So the first one that we can rule out is the current market favourite, who has actually drifted a little bit there if you're lucky. It was 2-1, drifted out to 9-4 now, and that is Isn't for the Tom Simmons stable. He did win on very soft ground in France, but I think they call good ground very soft over there in France. But he's been pulled up twice on heavy ground. So heavy ground there, clearly not his bag. I'm going to be not backing him. Lebowski of Lucinda Russell's, not yet being tested on any other going trip over than 2 miles. Sorry, so stepping up in trip for the first time on really testing ground. That's a negative for me straight away. And he's been beaten an accumulation of 47 lengths on his 3 starts on heavy ground. So yeah, a wide through him. The other one that we're looking at again, he's just out slightly, was 5-1, now 11-2, is Foster's Island for the Mickey Hammond yard. He's never run on heavy ground, so again, can't be having him. My selection has actually been slightly backed in now. We're 5-1 when I originally looked at the race and made my notes. That is Barrichello for the Donald McCain stable. 4-1, I still think it's a fair price, but given that he has been a little inconsistent on late, I wouldn't really be wanting to take any shorter than threes. So four still looks a reasonable price. Quite a compelling case I managed to compile for him, Barrichello. He's already got some form on heavy ground, finishing third, second, and third on his 3 starts over heavy ground. He's entitled to come on for his reappearance run at Sedgefield in October. Granted, he was well beaten, but I think the benefit of the run will certainly bear him in good stead here. His record over the intermediate strips, I did this over 2 mile 3, 2 mile 4. He's pretty consistent, leading second, first, third, second, and sixth. That sixth coming at Sedgefield on his reappearance, which I'd be gladly put a line through. He's now off a £7 lower mark than when the last winning Class 3 company at Newcastle last February. And his mark, I should have mentioned, is 124 for tomorrow. He's been mainly campaigned over fences since that win at Newcastle, which clearly wasn't to his liking, although he does hold some decent form over fences actually as a novice. Excuse me. Utoxeter back in October last year, he finished behind Thunder Rock, who was now rated 146 over fences, and has since placed in Grade Company. Musselbury in January 2023, he finished a well-beaten second behind Not Long Till May, who was subsequently rated 156 over hurdles, and has finished second behind Stage Star twice. Firstly in the Grade 1 Turners Novice Chase at Cheltenham in March, and since in the Paddy Power Golf Cup last month. His mark of 124 does look fairly lenient, I would say, considering that he has ran well off a mark of 132 over hurdles at Cheltenham in January earlier this year. He finished 8th of 15 horses, beating 10 lengths, and the form of that race is decent enough. The winner, Hacker de Place, is now rated 141 over hurdles, although he hasn't been seen since that Cheltenham handicap. The second place, My Eye, is a well-recognised horse and well-respected horse. He's now rated 145 over hurdles, having finished fourth in the Martin 5 and second behind Complete Unknown on his Chase debut. Third, Picard has won since, now rated 130. Fourth place punctuation. He's won twice since he's now rated 137 over hurdles. Fifth, High Steady has won since. Sixth, Nelson since won, now rated 130. Former Grade 2, Grade 3 and listed winner Jason Militant was back in ninth. 10th place, Take It Easy has won since. And the former Grade 2 winner and 142 rated Camprong back in 12th. So the form of that race is far superior to anything that we're seeing here tomorrow. You look at some of the horses there, they're rated £10 higher than Foster's Island and Romeo Brown. So I think that form is standing in good stead here. And if he can run to that form, I think he's got a very good chance of going in here. It's also worth mentioning that he has won on his only other previous visit to Haydock. So, yeah, I think Baracello there is a very, very decent price. Getting a cheeky look at the peaches there by mistake. So, yeah, I'd put Baracello up there, a point to win. First time to tie as well. I'm pretty impartial regarding that. What I would just mention is that Brian Hughes is in decent enough form with an 18% strike rate over the last 2 weeks as well. So I think if he can run to his best form with that win under his belt, knowing that he handles heavy ground and the trip, I think he's a fair bet at 4-1. So that's a point win. Baricello at 4-1. Closing those tabs down and moving on to Ludlow now, where it's a slightly contrasting picture to that of Haydock, where we have got a 7:30 inspection tomorrow morning. The vibes aren't too good. I don't know if we're going to get racing at Ludlow tomorrow, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, other than to say that I think Greyville and Fergal O'Brien's is a very worthy favourite at 220. It would have been nice to get some of that 94, but that's gone. 220 is the price that we've got here in this mare's handicap hurdle over 2 miles. It's a pretty solid case yet again. First of all, the Fergal O'Brien stables in fair form with a 16% strike rate, and Paddy Brennan, the jockey, 40% strike rate over the last 2 weeks, riding out of his skin. Very promising coming into this race. Mark of 119 does look fair, considering that she was fairly competitive and progressive last season as a juvenile. And into adding form with Arch Light looks decent enough. Greyville finished second at Doncaster when the pair first met in December, beating a length. That was on her stable debut, though, and when the two did reoppose in January back at Donny, she managed to reverse that form. Archlight is a decent horse, having won both her starts over fences, including a listed race, and is now rated at 133. Yeah, so she's already won on soft ground. One winning at Huntington in late March. The second and fifth have both come out of that race and won since. And she did shake well on reappearance. I thought she was quite an eye catcher for away in a strong handicap at Ascot last month when she finished 6th of 12 runners. And I'd say that she's entitled to come on for that run. But Fergal O'Brien's do tend to be coming on for the run, so I think she'll benefit from that run. Whilst that Ascot run may have come in class 2 company, the same as what this is billed as, the Ascot race was far, far more competitive to look at. The average rating across the 12 runs of that Ascot handicap was 128. And tomorrow's race, the average rating of the 6 runners is 112. So there's a good £16 difference in the races there. And you take Gallus, Marcelo out of the race, the James William runner, who was at 125, and nothing really of any substantial form in behind those two. Of the two, Greyville, 4-year-old, room to improve. Plenty of progression, I feel, could come about from this mare this year. If you want to keep an eye on the handicaps, yeah, I think 2-1, whilst it's shorter than 9-4, I still think it's a decent price. So they're the 2 win-only selections I've got for tomorrow. We'll see how we get ahead. For updates regarding the state of play, please follow me on Twitter at RacingTJW. I haven't updated the profit and loss spreadsheet, but there hasn't been any change with non-runs throughout. I will get it updated for tomorrow's video. If there is one, I will give you an update of some description tomorrow night. Maybe missing in action tomorrow with a look ahead to the weekend. Quite a detailed preview of the beaches coming up. So bear with me, keep an eye on my socials, and I'll be back with you. As always, gamble responsibly. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you shortly. Best of luck.